See if I fuck it up or not. I think we're going. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We got another episode of the Money Grab. This is episode 6 coming at you now. We are your co-hosts. We got Andrew Morin and Curtis Hoagland here with you. Andrew Morin, how you doing, man? What's going on?
Doing great, man. Ready for a nice numbered event here, and we got some big names on it, so can't wait to break it down and get into it.
Yeah, we actually got a little bit of name value on this one. It's like not, I don't know, it's not the like 2012 levels of name value, but for what we have today, this is actually like a fairly stacked, I almost said pay-per-view again, but a numbered card. Still trying to fight the urge to not call them a pay-per-view, but got an 8 o'clock Central Time card. That'd be 9 o'clock Eastern Time, so adjust accordingly. Obviously, they've moved him an hour earlier now with the Paramount era upon us. Taking place in T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas. It is also, I noticed they went back to the 5-fight main card setup. I feel like the last 3 cards we've had have been 6 fights on all of those, unless I'm crazy.
Yeah, the last couple have been 6 fights, and I kind of like the 5-card, or the 5-fight main card. 6 is a little lengthy, but
yeah,
we'll take it.
Especially when they start going to decision after decision, they start dragging on. You don't really end up saving any time on that hour adjustment. You just end up getting it right back.
Yeah.
Taking a look, though, at the early prelims, 4 o'clock Central Time, 5 o'clock Eastern. Nothing really to write home about. It's a lot of guys trying to, establish name value, make a name for themselves, probably go out and make some big performances to kind of establish themselves on the scene a little bit. The only thing that really stands out to me is we do have old Rodolfo Bellato has been relegated all the way to the opening fight of the early prelims. I don't know if that's a little bit of payback after the whole shenanigans with Paul Craig and the kick and the flailing around and all of that. I just find it odd placement. Now, sometimes these are subject to change, so I guess you can figure that in. Maybe the card will rearrange a little bit, but I do find that interesting placement for old Rodolfo Bellato.
Maybe he'll get his ass kicked and then get his walking papers. So. We'll see.
Send him packing pretty quick.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'd look up later and see how many fights he has left on his contract, like if he signed a multiple fight contract or what the deal is on that. My gut says with the lack of name value there, they probably were only doing 1 or 2 fights at a time. So yeah, they'll probably hand him a loss and then kick his ass out. Wouldn't surprise me at all. I like Sumaderji though as well. Sumaderji and Jesus Aguilar is probably a pretty fun fight. I won't have any plays on it, but
yeah, the line's pretty big on that one. But I do like Sumaderji as well.
Pretty lopsided.
Yeah, pretty lopsided. I mean, closer than what I saw earlier, but Sumaderji should get him out of there. I mean, minus 265. So
yeah, damn near a 3-1 favorite. Nice. You'd like to see some kind of dominant performance there. Go out and make a statement.
Yeah, definitely.
Moving into the regular prelims, those are starting at 6 o'clock Central Time, 7 o'clock Eastern. Got a couple Codys on this one. We got Cody Durden going against Naim Jagal Tumindimbarel. Durden's on I want to say like a 3-fight losing streak. I was actually just looking at this one earlier, thinking about maybe trying to find a bet there. Yeah, 3-fight losing streak. Naim Jagal's actually got a pretty decent little record he's putting together here. Obviously, the Carlos Hernandez one stands out, but I almost wonder if Naim Jagal by submission or something like that might be worth the play. But I'll sit on my hands on that one. We don't need to be chasing bets. We got Ricky Tercios going against Alberto Montes. Ricky Tercios, Ultimate Fighter alumni, so I always like to root for those guys, but he's not exactly blown me away there. He kind of gets ragdolled a little bit.
Yeah, dude, he's one of those guys who I fade. I honestly, I know. I
You're right.
Hate to bring it up, but he's just one of those guys that's like, I don't know, man. Like, you can take him or leave him. I don't know if he's UFC caliber, but I like the Ultimate Fighter, and it's nice to see that. So, I guess that's good.
Chris Matinho a little bit.
Yes. Oh, good at getting his ass kicked.
Yeah. Which that one burned me because I was hoping old Quinones would get the finish, and of course he manages to go out there and kind of lay an egg. It's like, dude, just finish the kid. I get Matinho's durable, but good God, what are we doing?
Yeah, that was definitely a fight where nobody looked good. The outcome was not good for anybody, especially the winner, which is kind of crazy.
Exactly. Even it's bad when even in a win you still come out looking like shit. It's like, all right, guy, come on.
Yeah, yeah.
Then we have we got our second Cody of the night, Cody Brundage going against Dante Johnson. I don't know a ton about Dante Johnson. I saw he's 5'8", so he's got to have like a pretty like the short, compact fire hydrant build, which to me are always like the harder guys to grapple because you can't really do much to him. Cody Brundage is one of these guys who's real hit or miss. Once in a blue moon, he'll throw out something real slick, like he got like a reversal on Bo Nickel and kind of like tossed him one time, and it's like, oh shit, okay, here we go, and he'll have like one of those moments every fight, and then proceed to get the shit beat out of him.
Right.
So
Yeah,
I'm assuming that's probably what's going to happen here.
I know. I bet on him one time. I don't remember the fight, but it was like I bet him first round knockout. He was getting his ass kicked, and I think he was caught in an armbar or a triangle or something, and then he picked up his opponent and smashed him, and he got the TKO win.
Yep.
So I mean,
Was
you're
that
not
Zach
taught
Reese?
to do that, but it might have been. It might have been. It was one of those. He was stuck in a triangle, and it was a TKO by slam, and it was back to back the same night. Like the guy before him, I forgot the fight.
Yes.
Also did a
call.
knockout slam.
Yep.
Yeah. So, just
God damn, good memory, dude. I completely forgot about that.
I think I only remember because I had money on that fight. So, I mean, otherwise it would have just right out.
Yep.
But yeah. I mean, I'd be rooting for Brundage in this spot here.
I'd like to see him put it together, kind of turn something around. He seems like an all right guy, and he just kind of, I don't know if the UFC has it out for him because he's kind of had some weird performances, and he had that weird DQ from like the hammer blows on the back of the head and that whole situation. So those kind of guys I do root for. I find myself like almost an underdog situation where you're like, all right, guy, come on, like get something going here.
Yeah, and it's one of those spots like now or never. You know what I mean? Like you can't be sitting on your hands forever.
Don't shit the bed on this one because you're probably going to get walked out on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Then we have the last fight of the prelims. What is it called? Premier, not Premier.
What is it?
I usually lean on you to.
I usually remember the
marquee fight. We're calling it.
Yeah, we'll call it that tonight because I have no idea. It's literally it's 7:00 on a Monday, man. I have no idea.
I put you on the spot.
Yeah, that's so one I usually know too.
It's the third and final Cody of the evening. Former champ Cody Garbrandt going against Chow Long. I think is how you'd say it, Chow Long. I know you had some thoughts on this one, so just go ahead and take it away, man.
Yeah, keep it short and sweet on this one. I like Garbrandt money line at plus 124. I think he's going to use the experience here. He has the power. He has decent takedown defense. He can grapple. I mean, it's not like he's going to look to grapple, but if he needs to, he could. His opponent Chow here, he lacks experience, and he's a volume striker, and he has good strike defense. But I mean, all it takes is one to slip through. He was a runner-up in the Road to UFC, I believe. And I just think Garbrandt's going to use his experience and get it done here. It's one of those, like, he's towards the end of his career. So he's got to get it going here.
Yep.
Finish on a win, maybe.
Yeah, no, kind of the 3 KOs on his record stands out to me on Chow Long's record. Obviously, Cody's got the power advantage here, the speed, the crisp boxing. And like you said, he really only needs one punch to kind of shut your lights out. If anybody's got the potential for one punch, one punch fight ending potential, I feel like it's Cody Garbrandt here. So yeah, I'd take that. What were the odds on that one? Let me scroll up.
Garbrandt was a plus 124 underdog earlier when I checked earlier. So I mean, you're taking a guy with experience, former champ, older for sure. Chin might not be there. But it looks like his opponent has not the best. He's volume striker, but it doesn't seem like he's really putting people out. So I think Garbrandt can hang in there. He can stay defensively responsible for enough time until he starts dancing and shit, and then who knows? But I'm gonna lean on Garbrandt here as an underdog too. That's big. That's big.
Yeah, that kind of surprised me. The plus 124 line actually has me entertaining it now as well. And Obviously, he's fought the higher level of competition, and yeah, agreed. If he goes out there and actually stays on a game plan, doesn't get reckless, and kind of Cody has a susceptibility to get pulled into brawls, get clipped, and get into these exchanges. So as long as that doesn't happen and he stays composed, I feel like this is his fight to win. Easy layup here, plus 124. I'd take it. So moving on to the main card, like I mentioned, 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern. 5-fight main card. First fight on the main card, we have a middleweight bout. We have number 13 going against number 15. We have Gregory RoboCop Rodriguez going against Bruno Ferreira. This is a rematch. I guess I'll lead on this one. I think you led on the last main card anyway. So yeah, I'll run on this one, I reckon. This one, it's hard for me a little bit. I had to remove my bias here. I'm a big RoboCop fan. I've got RoboCop shit from the movies all over my house because I love the movies so much. So just the nickname alone, I'm like, all right, this guy's the shit. Then his fighting style is very exciting. Things we noticed stylistically here, made some notes. Kind of a upright, orthodox striker. Head stays on the center line a little bit too much for my liking. Like he's kind of a hittable target. He's got a big shiny dome that people can make contact with, and he relies on his toughness a little more than I care for. The chin seems to be holding up well, but it's been cracked a couple times. One of the people who has cracked it is Bruno Ferreira. Ferreira is like a small, kind of the fire hydrant, compact build that we were talking about earlier. That's hard to do much with in the grappling world. He's an explosive, heavy-handed striker, not unlike RoboCop. Both these guys are a little reckless. I would say Bruno maybe has the speed advantage. Not a huge reach difference, given you would think it'd be more given the height difference here. I don't know. The odds kind of threw me off in this one because RoboCop was a 2-1 favorite, minus 198 currently. Generally speaking, the guy who won the first fight, I saw a thing on this years ago. It's like the guy who won the first fight, it's like 66% of the time, 2/3 of the time, he ends up winning the rematch. I don't know, man. Maybe it's my bias, but I agree a little bit with the odds here. I feel like he's been more active, fights a little bit longer. I would say he's maybe the more durable of the two. Bruno Ferreira has been slept with like 1 or 2 punches, and it usually seems like it takes quite a few to get RoboCop fully out, like to fully turn his lights off. So long-winded ramble there. I guess I'm going to go with RoboCop. Probably I'll go RoboCop KO. I'll go RoboCop KO on this one. What do you think, man? Take it away.
Yeah, man. So when I was just listening to you talk there, you brought up how Rodriguez likes to keep his head kind of on the center line. And that's kind of concerning when you have somebody with the power of Ferreira, right? If you keep somebody who keeps his head in one spot and you have that sudden knockout ability, he's there to get clipped. However, Rodriguez has the large frame. He's decent at neutralizing the striking of his opponents. He's got the experience. Ferreira, though, just he's got that sudden knockout ability that makes me a little nervous. Like I think if this fight goes the distance, I think Rodriguez can win. I think Ferreira's only chance at winning in this one is in those first few minutes of each round, or even the first round, where he can use that explosive, dangerous strikes. If I were to bet this one, I would take the over 1.5 rounds at minus 120. I know that seems a little weird here, but I think, if Ferreira's not able to get that high intensity and high pace going early, I think this fight can drag out. And so I'm betting over 1.5. My pick would probably be Ferreira.
Oh.
Ferreira by knockout to clip him late, I'm thinking. But I mean, and it's also odd because the odds are 2-1 favorite in Rodriguez's favor, even though he lost the first fight. So that makes me a little nervous there. So I'm going to go with Ferreira on this one. Ferreira over 1.5 would be the bet, but knockout late, I'm thinking. So.
Yeah, and that's come down a little bit. It's at minus 110 now. It's not like it's moved a ton, but it's a little bit better.
Yeah. Hey, we'll take it when we can.
Yep. And throughout a year, those little tiny movements actually end up adding up. And if it's going in your favor, then by the end of the year, that could end up being a couple extra units in your pocket.
Hey, we'll take it.
You saying that the over there, I'm kind of liking that the more I think about it. One of the notes I had was Gregory Rodriguez, while he's a jiu-jitsu black belt, he's not doing like sport jiu-jitsu. It's kind of the traditional like self-defense, like wet blanket,
Right.
kind of stalling you out kind of style. So if it
Mhm.
does go to the ground, he gets on top. That's going to eat up some time. He's not sinking in crazy heel hooks and shit like that. Like he may go for him, but it's not generally his forte. So yeah, actually I like that. Over 1.5 is not a bad idea at all.
Yeah, and I think they both can kind of survive the grappling of each other. So,
Mm-hmm.
I think it can drag out at least to the start of the third round, or at least over the 1.5 there.
Yeah, cancel each other out a little bit. I agree.
Definitely.
Next up, we have a lightweight bout. One of the more fun ones of the evening. It's going to be insane, but it's going to be fun. We have two lightweights, Drew Dober, Michael Johnson, two vets going at it. Andrew, take it away, man. This is you.
Yeah, man, I'm excited for this one. They both might not be ranked anymore, but this is going to be it's just going to be like they can take damage, they give damage whenever they're in a fight. It's always on. We have a height advantage for Johnson, but I mean, I don't think that's going to matter much here. I think Dober is really good at getting in tight and getting his striking off when he needs to. Age is a little bit of a hindrance here, but so with both of them. They're both older. I believe, right? Yeah, they're both late 30s. Like, it's not like the age is a dramatic factor. Michael Johnson has a lot of miles on the clock. So does
Yeah,
Drew Dober, but he has a lot of miles on the clock. If I was going to bet this one, I would take Drew Dober. But I would also, in this one, take over 1.5. Yes, they both can crack, but they both are durable. They both have the experience to weather that early storm and get a knockout late. So another overplay here. Over 1.5, and I think Dober can also like get a late finish. Like, we've seen him be down 2 rounds, come back and get the knockout, or we also saw him like almost get knocked out in round 1 and come back and win in round 2. So I like the over here, and I'm just ready for this to be fireworks.
You nailed it, man. I agree 100%. And to that point, with Drew Dober being able to turn it around, you kind of pair it with a guy who had a reputation in the past, maybe not quite so much of late, but he had a reputation for the longest time. He was known as the guy who would win a fight all the way up until the end and then find a way to give it away right there at the end and slip up, is Michael Johnson. So kind of pair that with Drew Dober's ability to right course, turn the ship around. I think you're 100% correct. Really, the only thing I would add, I would say Drew Dober chin is maybe a little bit better than Michael Johnson's. Johnson's speed is maybe a little bit better. Both of them get in there and start winging punches and get a little reckless. Michael Johnson really starts opening up and going wide as the fight goes on, which is why I think he ends up getting clipped. And then pair that with the chin. Drew Dober, I think his chin is largely because it's the size of the state of Texas. Dude's got a jaw. I mean, it's just fucking huge, but it is. I do think it's starting to fade a little bit, and I think the speed advantage with Michael Johnson, he might get touched and put out. There's also there's the whole internet memes jokes that Drew Dober does well against a certain demographic. So we'll see, man. We'll see how he does here. I think for plus money, I would probably take Drew Dober. The age difference, like you said, they're 2 years difference. Michael Johnson's 39 to Drew Dober's 37. I don't think it's really a significant difference. They're going to make any impact on the outcome of the fight. I don't think. If anything, you would think Michael Johnson would be the slower guy, being older, and I think he's actually quite a bit faster here. So, I don't have much to add to that one. I'm gonna go with Drew Dober as well. And I would say probably by KO if I had to pick. But I've been cold on that a bit of lately, so don't bank on me. Next up, we've got a bantamweight bout. This is another fun one. I feel like potential to be boring depending on how the opening round plays out, but we'll see. We've got a bantamweight bout. Number 13, Rob Font going against young buck Raul Rosas Jr. Chihuihuis. I think this one's my turn, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So we got Rob Font. This is kind of a little bit. It's like shades of your classic matchup with the um like heavy striker going against the classic kind of grappler. They both have a little bit of the new age MMA sprinkling in, where both of the guys can do the other stuff, but they definitely rely on one aspect of their game. Rob Font, been around the block once or twice. He's kind of the seasoned, grizzled vet at this point, New England Cartel. 38 years old to Raul Rosas, who I think is like 21 years old. What to think here, man? This one's been a tough one for me. I've kind of flip-flopped on it. I think this is one of those where we almost have the potential for like a Neil Magny type of situation where the grizzled vet maybe spoils the young upstart. Raul Rosas Jr. is a good explosive wrestler, but I think he gets by on being physical a lot. I don't think a lot of what he's doing is real slick technique stuff, and Rob Font is no slouch in the grappling, at least in so much that I think he can stay safe, wear on Raul Rosas, get him tired, get it back to the feet where he's going to be comfortable and have what I think is going to be a significant advantage in the hands. Rosas might be a hair faster. That's one thing I was noticing is he's pretty quick and he is working on the striking, but I still think Rob Font is probably the more slick, technical boxer out of the two of them. So this may be one I bet live. I keep an eye on it. If Raul starts to fade and Rob Font's doing really well, like defensively in the grappling, if he's staying pretty safe on the ground, because I do think he's probably going to get taken down early. But if he's staying safe, getting back to his feet, and he's chipping away at Raul, I think you start maybe putting a little money on Font if he's a big underdog. Forced to pick. I think this goes kind of similar to the Gene Matsumoto fight. I think Rob Font gets it done. I guess I'm going to go Font, maybe decision here. Yeah, Font decision. We'll go with that. Mr. Morin, what do you think?
Yeah, dude. On this one, I'm torn. I am torn because I can see this going one of two ways. I can see this going as you talked about. That Font going in there using the experience. Able to maybe not keep it on the feet, but at least stay safe on the ground, and then get back to his feet and get some striking off. But I can also see this turning into like Rosas Jr. gets this fight to the ground and doesn't do much, just peppers him a little bit here and there, and just kind of kills the clock and kind of gets a boring decision. Like you said, classic grappler versus striker matchup here. And Font has great striking. However, we've seen him go up against grapplers before and not always, be able to get his offense off. Man, I think I'm going to go with Rosas Jr. here. Just based on he's younger, he's hungrier. And the UFC, I think kind of think that he has like a backing of like fans, and maybe he does.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that as much. I see him kind of coming off cringy, but I don't know if that's just like a younger generation coming up type thing.
Yeah.
But I think it's just one of those where like the younger fighter is going to come in and, unfortunately some of these older fighters that we enjoy watching are going to start taking L's, and that's the way it goes. So I like Rosas Jr. here. From a betting standpoint, nothing really sticks out. I did look at over 2.5 rounds at -188, I believe it was.
Yep.
So I mean, if I was going to bet it, I'd probably bet the over, another round bet. But yeah, I think Rosas Jr. takes it, and the over is our best bet here.
Yeah, I agree on that. The over, and yeah, agreed. The potential for this fight to unfortunately be a snoozer. It's going to be that how the first round, if Font is able to stay safe, and if it's going to be a big telling round. Like, is he going to do okay in the grappling? If Raul goes out there and ragdolls him, unfortunately, I think the next 2 rounds are going to be rinse, repeat, take him down, stay heavy, and just beat the shit out of him, and that's pretty much going to be it.
I think if Rob Font's got to crack him early if he's going to want to get something off here.
Yeah, get some respect early and get a little momentum going. Yeah,
exactly.
I could see that. Next up, we have a middleweight bout, one with probably some implications down the road, I would say. We've got number 7 middleweight in the world, Caio Borralho, going against number 8 middleweight in the world, the Dutch Knight, Reinier De Ridder. Andrew Moore, and this is you, man. Take it away.
Yeah, man, I'm really excited for this one. I listened to some other podcasts earlier today, and People were big on Caio Borralho here. I am the opposite. I like RDR here, and I like him pretty big too. I think there's a lot being made that Borralho is, like the next big thing, and he's up and coming, and but I think this is going to be one of those situations similar to the Bo Nickal situation, where, and not saying that Bo Nickal and Caio are on the same level, but I am saying I think RDR is going to go in there and play spoiler. I think he's going to beat him pretty much everywhere. I really do. I think he's going to use his experience of two-time weight division champion and one, and I think he's going to get it done here. I can see like some clinch work, some really good clinch work. Yeah, I like RDR big, and this fight has, like I could wake up with shit all over my face for this fight, because I tend to lose these ones when I'm big on them, but. I just think he's going to be better everywhere. Like I don't really have much explanation for it. I think it'll
factor.
go. I just something about it. I do think it will go. I don't think he's going to get a submission here though. Borralho's never been submitted. And I think like Borralho, he's a good striker and he lands with 60% accuracy. When more than half of your shots are landing, that's troublesome. But I just think RDR is going to go in here, and I mean, he beat Whitaker in a coin flip fight, but I mean, he beat some high level guys in the UFC. So, I think RDR gets it done, especially at 2-1 odds. I'll take RDR in this one.
Okay. So bet wise, would you play just money line there, you think?
Money line, probably. Yeah.
Okay.
The line right now is plus 240, I believe.
Yep.
I mean, if the decision line comes out, we're probably looking at plus 500, I would assume. I don't know if it's out yet, but
not yet.
It's probably going to be big money by decision.
Damn. Okay.
So, I mean, and I think RDR has the type of style to slow things down. It's a 3-round fight. I'm not worried about the gas tank. Like I think RDR can get it done.
Interesting. That's I don't know why that one surprised me a little bit. I am one of those that's big on Caio, and I think I don't know, man. I'm almost complete polar opposite there. I don't know that at Reinier. I'm sitting here going through my head. I'm like, I don't know.
That's what I like it.
Yeah, this will be a good one. This is our main event challenge on this one's gonna be very split. We were almost on the exact same page on the last card, and this one's gonna be a big
swing card.
Yeah, the gap's gonna grow on this one.
This is one of those cards where we're gonna flip flop here.
Yeah,
we need those. We can't be tied forever.
Yeah, agreed. I just think Reinier De Ridder, while he is pretty slick in jiu-jitsu, he does a lot of like sport jiu-jitsu stuff. He has kind of some flashy shit. I think he's big and physical, but I think like technical wise, Caio is actually probably the better, more safer, like MMA style grappler, and will be able to kind of not necessarily completely stifle RDR, but he's going to shut down any of like the flashy shit he does by just not engaging with it. It's kind of the just stand up thing. Like he's going to be going for arm bars. Kyle's just going to back out. He's not going to be staying in there and kind of engaging in the guard, shit like that. I think he's significantly better on the feet. Reinier's awkward and has decent power, but I also think that kind of works against him because he does gas a little bit. He throws himself out, and a lot of the physical shit he's going for, like the big throws on Brendan Allen. He dominated the first round and then was completely out of breath by basically round 2 and was kind of laying up against the cage, and Brendan Allen was beating the shit out of him. And I think this fight has very much potential to go the same way. Kyle's a pretty physical guy. Had a pretty physical fight with Cannonier that he lost, if I remember right. But I don't know, man. For some reason, I think Kyle's going to grow from that, fighting nerds and all that good kind of shit. He's a smart guy. He's got good fight IQ. He's not going out there and risking himself much. Like you said, the 60% landing of his strikes, I think, it's going to matter in this one. Reinier doesn't strike me as a guy that has like a really great chin. He's good when he's the hammer, but as soon as he starts losing some momentum in the gas tank, it seems like he folds. Now, maybe, I don't know, I do put a little bit of stock into him saying that he wasn't feeling right in his last fight and that he was sick, because he did seem to fade like crazy fast. So maybe that had something to do with it, and maybe I'll be the one who has a bunch of shit on my face come Sunday morning. But I'm gonna go Caio. I will say probably a late stoppage or a decision would be my guess. I'll have to settle on that. The Rob Font, Raul Rosas one, I think as the week goes on, I might flip-flop a couple times. This one, the method, I might flip-flop, but I'm pretty set on Caio for this one. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I want to see the weigh-ins as well. I want to see how Reinier's looking.
Yeah, and Borralho, like he's got the momentum on his side also. The Fighting Nerds were cruising up there. They did take a couple stumbles here and there. They do have the momentum on their side. So, I can see this fight turning out for Caio. I don't know why I'm big on RDR. When I've start to win a little bit, like I've been up the last couple weeks, I start to try to take some more chances, I think, and my head gets about this big. So we gotta take a couple L's to get back down to normal here. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun one, dude. Either way, like I think this could, this could be a good fight here.
Agreed. Very fun co-main event. Then we have main event of the evening, another fight that I'm very torn on, but a very fun fight. BMF belt on the line. Lightweight scrap. We have the BMF champ, Max Blessed Holloway, the Blessed Express, going against Charles Do Bronx Oliveira. I think this one is mine to lead with here. Very tough matchup for me. This is, again, kind of your classic stylistic matchup. You've got a guy who very much favors the boxing against a guy who very much favors the grappling, jiu-jitsu. Max Holloway, some of the best boxing in the UFC. Volume puncher, not like crazy power, but he does have a lot of good snap on his punches. It's one of those where he's hitting you, not necessarily knocking you silly, but they sting and they add up quick. Death by 1,000 bee stings, I guess. And you got Charles Oliveira, who I think does actually have pretty good power when he does land, throws really hard shots. He's hurt just about everybody. There's been a couple people who've said that he's the hardest puncher that they've ever fought. He just doesn't necessarily land all the time. And his chin's not the greatest. Man, this is tough. Max Holloway, to me, has a pretty clear speed and boxing advantage, and then you have Charles Oliveira has a pretty clear jiu-jitsu advantage. I think Oliveira's probably going to be a little bit bigger in there as well than more natural lightweight. Max has come up and has filled out and looked pretty good, but Oliveira, to me, at times looks fucking massive for a lightweight, whereas I think Max is going to look good as a lightweight. Oliveira looks huge for lightweight. If Max can stay safe, I think this is a pretty clear win for him. I think Oliveira is going to go out there and try and tie him up, maybe jump guard or work to the back, jump on him, get the body triangle. I don't know how much Max's grappling has been tested of late. Volk tried to take him down a little bit, but that's been quite a while. Volk didn't have the size and the reach of Oliveira. I'm sitting here kind of talking myself into Oliveira at plus 190 for the money, I think, is there. It's gonna suck no matter who loses. I don't want either of these guys to lose, but one of them has to do it. So I guess to save myself from Finn sitting all night, I'm gonna go with Charles Oliveira, potentially by sub. I might flip flop as this one goes on. The weight cut, I think, is gonna make a big difference here. Whoever looks the shittiest on the scale is probably who I'll bet against, because I think that's gonna matter in this one. I could see it dragging out and being a late fight. Max isn't going to shut Charles out. He doesn't have the power that like Ilya does, and I think he's going to stay fresh long enough to fight off the early grappling offense of Oliveira. So I think it's going to be a late stoppage or a decision. I guess I'm going to go Oliveira, but we'll see how the weigh-in looks. What's your thoughts, man? What do you think?
Yeah, man, I'm so excited for this fight. I feel like it's been a while since I had a fight where, both were like top level guys, and it's like sad to see one lose sort of deal. And I ever since that Gaethje fight, dude, like I can't count out Max Holloway.
Mm-hmm.
So my pick would be Max Holloway in this fight. And I just think that, Oliveira is going to come forward. He's going to be heavy on the front leg, kind of like that type, that boxing. He kind of has like a boxing stance, but he's like looking for the takedowns. I think one thing that does benefit Oliveira, though, is he's okay with taking a shot and getting rocked and falling to his back. We've seen it several times. We saw him, I believe it was the Chandler fight, where he got stuffed by a jab, fell back down to his back, and then ended up winning that same round.
Yep.
We've also seen him against Poirier also get clipped. I think Max Holloway will know better not to follow him to the ground. But I do think like he's hittable. So, like the damage that Holloway put on Gaethje that just accumulated over the fight, like I think that is something that can also happen here. I do think that this fight is going to go later into the rounds, which is odd for Oliveira. If you're looking at Max Holloway, 12 of his last 13 fights have gone over 2.5 rounds, and 6 of Oliveira's last 11 fights have failed to go, or I'm sorry, have gone over 2.5 rounds. So it's kind of opposite here. Oliveira is kind of an under guy, and Max Holloway would kind of be an over guy. However, long-winded here, but however, Charles Oliveira has gone over against Poirier, against Ferguson, against Sarukian, and against Chandler. So those upper echelon type fighters, he's been going later and later into the fight with them. So I think this fight is going to go over 2.5 rounds. I think Holloway can either get a decision like he did with Gaethje. I almost would like to see Holloway not point down to the mat this time. Just because like I feel like it's like a new fad now. Everybody's doing it.
Yep.
And he's not going to top what he did against Gaethje. So I like Holloway here. Not a big fan of the BMF belt, but it's a title nonetheless. And, I like Holloway here.
I'm kind of the same way with the BMF belt. It's a little weird. It's a little gimmicky. It feels like.
Yeah.
The one off time that they did it, it was like, okay, that could be cool to do at one time. And now that it's like lingered, it's the same thing as the Apex now to me, where it's kind of overstayed its welcome. It's like, all right, man, we were doing some weird shit in COVID because that was a weird time. Now let's get rid of it.
Right. Now it's done. Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. And I'm kind of worried about the direction of the sport a little bit. Since the Paramount deal, we've seen a lot of, like this, like the Hulk it. He's coming out trying to be like Hulk Hogan. He did it before, but now he's like playing into it more. It almost seems like they're favoring a lot of, Ray Longo talks about it all the time. They're going out looking for spectacular knockouts and little clips and those sort of moments, I guess we could say, rather than whole performances. So I just hope we're not going in that direction and it turns more into WWE-esque, if you will. But I mean, the BMF is cool. I just don't know if it's like a title that's like needs defending. No,
I think you nailed it. It's becoming more spectacle than it is about the sanctity of the actual sport itself.
Right.
There was a martial arts element of it, and now it's kind of just becoming spectacle, clip farming, content, which is what everything's becoming. But I guess that's a whole other thing. I'll get on my soapbox and be in here for 30 minutes bitching about that.
Exactly. I mean, something that would be cool that I thought about was like, what if they use the BMF title as like a tournament almost? So you take like 6 fighters, or let's say 8 fighters, and the winners go against each other, and the winners go, not the same night obviously anymore, but almost somewhat of like a tournament type style for the BMF.
Yep.
That might be cool, especially with those guys like Michael Chandler, who's not sniffing a title shot. Those fighters who aren't necessarily at the top of there. So you could do kind of a tournament type style.
Yep.
Only thing that sucks is it's going to have to stretch out the course of, months and months and months. And it kind of loses, it's not like basketball where there's games every night. So it kind of loses that momentum, but maybe if there was more to it rather than just these two guys are bad motherfuckers. So they're going to fight each other.
Yes. Yes, where they just arbitrarily pick 2 guys that they like, and they're just like, you guys are now the 2 baddest motherfuckers, and you 2 are fighting for it. Yeah. They could do a Grand Prix or something like the old Pride setup, or Bellator used to do the Grand Prix, and it would work out and stuff. Like, I'd be down for any of that kind of shit. I'd be all about it. The spectacle aspect, the White House card. I'm not super keen on the White House card. It's seeming like I don't like Poatan vacating and. That whole
and now so what's next? Tom's gonna vacate and they're gonna fight for an empty title. You know what I mean?
Or they'll strip him.
Yeah, I mean that's another thing. There's talks that they're gonna strip him for
It
pay him
wouldn't
some
surprise me in the
money.
least.
It wouldn't surprise me either. We'll see how it goes. But it's exciting to have some top level guys here and big names at the top of the card. So that's cool. And Max Holloway, Charles Oliveira can't get bigger than that. So it'll be a good weekend here.
2 fan favorites, all the politics and all the other stuff aside, this card is going to be a pretty good one. We've got 2 fan favorites, 2 guys that you root for, seemingly 2 of the good guys of the sport. So should be a good one regardless. But that is it. UFC 326 in the bag. We'll try and put some bets out, assuming I don't forget. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But we'll put some bets out before the fights themselves take place. We usually try to wait until the weigh-ins happen on Friday, see how everybody's looking. Put some bets out there and recap it. But you can find Andrew's Morin __11 on X or Twitter, Instagram. You can find us all there, Facebook, all the good kind of stuff. I'm out there on various things. You can find me. Like, comment, follow, subscribe, help us out on the channel. And that is it. Andrew, you got any parting words?
Nothing really. Let's just win some money this weekend.
Hell yeah. Let's cash some tickets. Peace out, folks. See you next time.
See ya.